Good evening, everyone, and welcome to EU3. I am here with Matty, and we are in Texas tonight. We got some rain in Quali. Good to
And
see.
it's not EU2 for a change. Yeah! EU3 have got it. Yeah, good evening. Some technical difficulties. EA tried to scupper us and say there's no servers available. Well, we've sorted that out. 20 drivers, full grid. Lots of flipping around the last 10-15 minutes or so, but we finally got there. It is raining, but as you said, we are at the Circuit of Americas this week, round 11. We're nearly there, including tonight. There's only 6 rounds to go.
Yeah, and we're close to the F124 game as well. So
Things are getting closer and closer. I'll do the really boring stuff first. Good news, and it's kind of my fault, but I'll take responsibility for that, and it kind of is and isn't. We have 2 promotions. Limits and Not Ras will be full-time in the Red Bulls. Not Ras is not racing. That's down to me. That's all my fault, because he said, I can race, and I didn't realise until very last minute. So the EU3 reserve of Rumi Kaikkonen, yeah, you heard that right, he's in the Red Bull for Not Ras. Limits is in the Alpine now officially, alongside Griffin. And so we're pretty much all to go. Other than that, Hako, everybody's here.
yeah, that's good to
11
see,
rounds
isn't
in.
it?
That is very good.
Yeah, I mean, usually quite a few people drop out and won't show up. So it's great to see that people are still in it to get some experience. I mean, you might be at the back of the field, but the experience you gain in a league racing scenario is, I mean, you take it with you the entire season, and the entire time you're gonna improve. So it's good to see.
And then you hopefully improve into the next game with a bit of wheel-to-wheel racing. My guessing is that it's going to be wet for the entirety of qualifying, as we see quite a number of people out on track at the moment, trying to circle around as Nasula is spinning out. It's his first race where he's full-time in EU3 as well. That's a replacement. He's been bumped up. He's in the Aston Martin. Just want to check that to make sure that is correct. I think it is, as we're usually seeing him in the colours of red and white and black of the Alfa Romeo. Yeah, that is right.
Okay, good.
So we're all good. So actually, there's 21 or 2 drivers in this tier, really. Plus all the EU4 boys that want to reserve. So EU3 at the moment is in a very, very good place.
Yeah, it's stacked, isn't it? With some great drivers as well.
And the thing is, we'll see some of these guys come up into EU2 to reserve tomorrow. In fact, I can probably tell you already. There's at least 2, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
I think we got 16 last night for EU4.
Might have. I didn't watch. I was
No,
sleeping.
I wasn't. That's fair enough. Yeah, should be good. I'm just trying to find the championship standings really quick just to see where we are because penalties have come in. So far though, it's not. I haven't seen, and I will check this. I've not seen any bans as of yet, which is, I'll tell you what, 11 rounds in, that's pretty good. So we've not had any like anyone on a quali ban or.
Yeah, we had that early on, but
Limits had one for round 10, which was last week, so should be good. Because I believe he did race last week as well, so.
yep, hopefully. Yeah, I didn't really put the standings up because I was watching Champions League with my dad, so I didn't really prepare the stream tonight, unfortunately.
It's fine. It's Champions League. I will have to race tomorrow, hoping that the fact that a team in red and white can put the ball in the back of the net more times than the other team, which seems to be very difficult at the moment after the weekend's result.
Goran's crest.
That's at the top of the hill.
Yeah, that's
turn 9.
Easy place to lose it as well. Spun into the left hand side there.
Yeah, MotoGP were here last weekend around COTA, and it was a very exciting weekend of motorcycle racing. I know some of our guys are interested in their motorbikes. I know Thomas certainly is. They were here this week, and now we are taking to the track virtually.
Yeah, love a good motorcycle.
We do.
So, Almanac, 410 cleared field. I mean, most people might just settle in with the conditions, do a bit of practice before they send it on the last run, as the track will probably dry up a bit towards then.
It'd be interesting to find out. I think Hilly could be in a chat with the VC with the McLaren boys. Hilly, is it going to be raining the entire time? Any weather report would be fantastic, or if anyone else has got inside information, that would be great to see if there's going to be a change in weather conditions. In the real world of F1, Hako, we go to China this weekend.
Yeah, we're going there soon in COS as well.
We are. I believe it's round 13. I will check.
After Silverstone, I'm pretty sure.
14, round 14.
Yeah.
You go COTA. So this is your last 6 races, everybody. We're at COTA, then Silverstone, then Mexico, Shanghai, Qatar, and then we finish at Interlagos, which is a very nice track to finish on. Always has provided great league racing here in COS to decide any championships if we cross that bridge. And we're getting to that stage of the season where we can start talking about championships, can't we?
Definitely.
We're getting close.
Yeah. Ooh, Vice Boy almost spinning out of turn 1. Turn 1 is so tricky around here. Such a blind corner, very difficult on traction and exit. And then you get these swooping corners. You have to really just keep the momentum up throughout this entire section, because if you mess up one corner, you mess up the rest. So Vice Boy is doing that quite nicely. Cutting perfectly as well.
There's lots of tracks now on the calendar that are like that. We've got Maggots and Beckett's at Silverstone. We've got the S's at Suzuka. And also we've got the Sector 2 in Mexico, where we've got a few sweeping corners where the tyres are loading from one direction to the other direction. It's lots of tracks with flowing corners that need to be very rhythmical. I've just had a look at the driver's standings. Almanac is behind Lewis by 43 points.
That's a big gap. But Almanac has been
That
really
is.
unlucky recently.
Yeah, we got so Lewis leads the way. Almanac's second. He's closely followed by Dan, who's 5 points behind Almanac. The top three then got a nice little gap down to fourth. 18 points separates Dan in third and Stelcho in fourth. And then it's pretty tight. We've got Stelcho on 65, Gore on 58, Caxel on 56, Nasuda 50. Considering he's only done like 2 races in this tier, so that could be somebody that's going to shake up the title perspective. 40 for Nico, who's done well as well in his 3 races that he's raced since his promotion. Griffin's on 39. The Williams sit 10 and 11th. The Haas is a 12th and 13th. Wise Boys in 14th. Yingix 16th and Mont 16th. Isaac, Jaren and Lanky. So everybody has raced in a full-time perspective has scored points, which is good.
Yeah, shows this that everyone has the possibility to get points. And I am following Racer. He's currently 4 tenths up, going through the last sector. Very difficult sector as well, because you got blind corners as well, and you have to maximize the track. And the last corner is insanely tricky with the traction and the rotation, and he puts P2. So I'd assume that shows that the track is improving. Especially when I follow Nika around. He is 5 tenths up coming out of sector 1. Almost 6 tenths up. Oh, Griffin's... Has he dropped it? Coming off the penultimate corner. Yes, he has.
Yeah. It's into the pit wall as well.
Yeah. I almost did that in practice earlier. So that is possible. Tricky corner that is, because you can get a snap of oversteer on exit. A lot of the corners around COTA is quite tricky with the rotation. So we might see quite a few mistakes from the drivers around here. So Nico is coming up to the line now. He will be going cross. Heat mix goes to the top. Will Nico beat it? Yes, he will. By 1.5 tenths. So not a bad lap. 2 tenths actually.
It is still raining, but there is definitely some kind of line that's out there at the moment. Where I think where the water's just being cleared out the way.
Yeah, looks like it. I mean, everyone is improving. Limits is for almost 5 tenths up through the first sector as well. So the track is definitely ramping up. And Limits might get a tow from the house ahead, who is Andre, I'm pretty sure. Yes, Andre is on an invalidated lap. So
Stelcho's coming round to do his first proper, I'd say, attack of the lap. It looks pretty decent, to be fair. Yeah, there is pole position at the moment for Stelcho. I feel, Hako, this is a whoever can cross the line last will get pole here.
yeah,
We've not had many of those kind of qualifying
almost like Portimao,
sessions.
isn't it?
Yeah, we've had one qualifying session like that. I believe it was like us, EU2
Yeah.
Zandvoort, I think.
Yeah,
Where
sand was
that
horrible.
went from wet to dry, and well, I was beneficiary. Let's put it that way.
I wasn't. I puddled.
I found myself in a position where I probably shouldn't have been, but that's fine. But I feel this is going to be the same. So I think guys you'll see come in and will fuel themselves up for a couple of at least 2, if not 3 laps at the end, because you can probably do 2 back-to-back laps with the ERS because it's in the wet. You probably won't get used as much around here.
Most likely no. Nisula is on a run though. He's out early. He wants to put in a time, or he might go into the pits if he doesn't see it going his way.
I would suggest he's coming in, considering he's flashing red on his fuel. Oh, good evening, Mr. Deathstorm. Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, hello everyone in the chat. Also Sid, who actually won last night. That was not my
his
pinky
first
card
one.
this season.
He was on his first win, I believe. So congratulations. I'll say well done when the penalties and that come out. You never know what's going to happen.
No,
I think it was.
you never do.
No, I think it wasn't too bad though.
Alright, Nisula validated, and he is going into the pits. So
How's Nico getting on? Nico's not really improving.
all limits sideways, completely through the triple apex corner. Yeah, into the pits he goes as well. Oh, did he almost crash into the pits?
He did. Somebody's going slow as well, but I think that's because I haven't got any fuel. Wisey boy is coasting around. Yeah. What's Rob up to? His teammate Ty is actually a 10th and a half up.
Yeah.
And not using any ERS, which is interesting.
Definitely. I mean, to be fair, I don't think he's gonna use his ERS this time around. He's just gonna get the heat in the tires. Because, yeah, he's 5/10 down coming off the straight. So, I think it's just a bit of a warm-up lap on the Intus.
Yeah, I would like to stay on board with him because he's probably going to be one of the first people to start his last flying laps. Hopefully he carries on.
Yeah.
Because then we can do a lap round. COTA, here we go then. Let's give him some airtime because we've not seen too much from him so far this season. Breaking down into turn 1. Like I spoke about it earlier, really difficult corner to get the traction on the exit, especially now we are in the wet as well. We've mentioned the flowing corners of turn 2, 3, 4. Oh, big lift. Oh, back end doesn't want to go where it wants to go. Through turn 6, turn 7, another off camber corner, and we have invalidated. And then we come up to turn 8 and 9, which is probably going to be quite horrible in the wet, to be fair.
Yeah.
We'll move on to somebody else. I put the pressure on him. He's not going to get it done this lap, and we've got times flying in.
2. It's all about putting the lap together at that quality. Doesn't matter if you have a bank, because it'll most likely be beaten in these conditions. So, Stealth Show is on a lap.
Lewis is going again.
So everyone is out there besides Lanky and Dan Robbo. So we are following Stealth Show around.
Lanky dropped it on his out lap. That's why he's in the pits. Oh, Lanky, no! Checkered flag has fallen, and Nico's in.
Stealth Show's
Nico's
invalidated.
done.
And Nico's done. He didn't make the flag then, I guess. Almanac's invalidated. Yidmix invalidated. Miller's up to P3. Great lap by the Haas. Munch is coming around. Munch is up on his time. and a marginal improvement will put him quite a few places up, and it will be up to P2 as well. So that's not a bad qualifying for Mons. And there's the Martin. What will his teammate do? He's 3/10 up through sector 1. As we see a McLaren going straight on at the back.
Kimi's coming. Heat mix is invalidated, but maybe just finishing up to see what it could have been. And it would have been. Oh, you squirmy. Would have been 44.8. Capsule's gone into second. Isaac's gone into fourth. Nasuda's going to make a jump here as well, half a second. So this could be fighting for the second row of the grid.
Now pole position.
Brilliant last sector. Had another half a second.
Vice White didn't improve. So Nisula is on pole. Stelzio is second with his banker lap, or his second run, which is impressive. Caxel in P3. So Aston Martin is looking good tonight with Nisula in P1, Munch in P4. We then have Isaac in the Mercedes in P5, Nico in P6, Milosh P7. And Almanac P8. And Yeetmix is P9. Invalidated his last lap. Racer is P10. Limits P11. Then it's 12 for Remy in his first outing as a reserve. Rob is in P13. Lanky P14. Andre in the Haas is P15. Voice Boy in P16, Griffin P17 as he crashed out early on. Ty in P18 didn't really put a lap together at the end. Dan in P19 and Goran P20. So, I mean, it's not that spread out when you think about it's the wets.
Oh!
Well, no.
Gives us the answer.
Oh, dry.
This is dry weather conditions. By the way, PSG are 3-1 up against Barcelona.
Oh no. So many yellow cards in that match. It's actually insane. They just cannot behave. I mean, Barca getting a red card put them out quite early on as well.
The other game is 2-2, which is 4-3 on aggregate to Atletico Madrid.
As we are waiting, and we do have the drivers lining up now. We have 3, 4, and 5 lights, and we are waiting for them to go out. And will we go out soon? Yes, and they will go out in just a second. And we are go for COTA, and we have Stelzio with a great start on Nisula. Up the inside, will Stelzio try and take it into turn 1? He most likely will try, but Nisula is on the soft tires.
Contact further back.
Caxel is ahead of Stelzio. Nico is up to
Oh, big
P4.
contact! There's a Red Bull. I think it's Kimi.
He is standing
and
still.
Williams of Rob. From what I saw, Rob also had a car on the inside as well, which didn't particularly help. Griffin's dropped miles back as well. Not a great start, but we've got Mons looking down the inside of the Red Bull. They're all fighting in full position. Stelzio under pressure on the hard tyre. Because there's a few soft runners behind him.
Yeah, I mean, there's no point in Stelzio fighting that one. I mean, the soft tires are so much faster now. So he won't be fighting them too hard, I would assume. As it doesn't make sense. But Caxel keeping up quite nicely with Nisula when considering he is on the medium tires.
There is a few guys on the hard tyres towards the back of the grid. Lots of people making lunges into turn 15. The double right-hander as Yeet Mix is trying to go side by side with Wisey Boy through 17 and then 18.
Pushed a bit wide, but that is quite a difficult corner to go side by side in. So,
but they've kept it in a straight line. That's pretty good.
Limits
managed
is
to
gonna
pull-
try and get a move on Munch, but he cuts turn 1 completely. That's a warning already. But he is on the soft tires while Munch is on the mediums, so he will try and get close and then use the soft tires to get closer to the guys ahead.
I'm keeping an eye on the back. Rumi's managed to get the gap down to 8.5 seconds. Consider it was nearly 12 seconds at one point after the spin. That's because everybody's squabbling over each other, and it's now down to 8 seconds. So that Red Bull on the move. Keep an eye out despite the spin. I have a feeling his race pace is going to be really, really strong.
Already 7.8, so he is looking good for now.
Tyres are as follows: Nisuda on the softs, Caxo on the mediums, and Nico on the softs. Stelcho on the hard tyre. Softs for Isaac and Limits. Mediums for Almanac, all the way down to where Lanky is. Hards for Ty, Andre, Dan, and Rob. And then softs for Griffin and Remy right at the end. Well,
So
there was no virtual safety car or safety car on the first lap for a change.
yeah, it's good to see. Caxus has trouble out of the second now, but that's not really surprising considering the soft tires are insanely strong at the start of races. So, oh, what an angle, getting the last corner there. So everyone is quite close to each other compared to the front three. Then it's almost a line of stir all the way down to P19. Oh, lovely helicopter cam throughout the first sector.
Remy's third fastest lap time on that last lap. As Limits, Hako, he has got the first penalty of the evening. I think there could be quite a few more heading
Oh,
on their way.
Almanac off track going into the hairpin or going on to the straight. So DRS is online now. Nico is on the attack on Caxo. He will move past. He will try and track down Nisula in P1. And I don't think Caxo minds that because he is on the mediums. Stelcio is being overtaken by Isaac, who is on the softs, while Stelcio is on the hards.
Griffin's got it horribly wrong at the back.
Oh, he has gone
Completely
straight on.
outbroke himself. I think just got caught out by the guys in front. All had DRS trying to get past Lanky in P15 because Ty is the one that's really kind of broken away from everybody else.
Oh,
These
he's
tyres
spun
are
again.
Yeah, they're really hot. Once you get them out the window around this track, it's going to be very, very difficult to get them back in. Oh, I hope that isn't, because that's not particularly very helpful. Almanac is holding off. Oh, and
That's
shoulders are out for that one.
yeah, I mean, I'm not a steward, but that was a bit of a push to pass from my point of view. I don't think Stelzio's going to be happy with that because Munch is on the mediums and he's on the hards. So they are not on the same strategy, but the tire deficit isn't as big. So he won't be happy with the way that overtake was done. But Limits is behind and he's on the soft tires. So we will try and get past Stelzio now. So I think it might have been because Munch was under pressure.
Let's see who's made the most position. So I'm gonna have a look. Wisey up 6 places, or 5 places, because he's fighting with the Haas at the moment.
Oh, and he's moving down now.
He's moving down now. Goran's made up 7. he's had a weird season, Hacko.
Yeah.
He's him and Dan have had a very weird season. Like they're down here because they don't like qualifying. Well, I'm guessing they don't like qualifying. But they're very consistent. Very, very consistent. But it's just
Griffin needs an
give
invite,
us the
by the way.
The G-Mix came back on the track. That was pretty close. But yeah, they've had a strange year.
Yup. I'm sending an invite to Griffin, by the way.
Yeah. I've just seen it.
Yep. Just gotta make sure
Okay.
that we don't have someone not getting in like last time around Portugal.
Yeah. Should be alright. Now, yeah. Hey, that's why I've got my phone in front of me, and I also have the Twitch stream in front of me on my laptop as well, so I can see everything. I can also see this, contact, and that's Wisey Boy round as well. Goran and Yeet Mix going in way too hot, trying to outbrake each other, and the Alfa Romeo somehow, after all that, ends up being the worst for wear. That was incredibly unlucky, as Dan's going to go down the inside of the McLaren, and I presume the McLaren's just going to throw it down the inside on the way back. Yep. So that one coming, and then they're all going to lose out to the Williams. No, because Dan's going to throw it down the inside and get that move done. The McLaren now hasn't got any front wing. I'm not surprised, because the other Alfa Romeo got hit quite hard.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, and he's round as well.
No, not a good lap. Lanky's lost the place to Rob. And Ruby's finally closing back into the rest of the pack, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, you'd expect that with all the fighting going on, and Lanky and Rob fighting through turn 1. Rob is on the hard tires, and Lanky's on the mediums, I think. Yes, it is the medium tires. So
see, Lanky's got a little bit more grip at the moment. He just needs to settle in. He's had a couple of laps where there's been so much chaos around him. It's very hard to get into a rhythm. And, well, I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to go back past Rob down this.
Nico Cendric on the inside, and him and Cax are now fighting, but this isn't helping them out one bit, because now it helps Nisula run away. And
yeah, and Al.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good overtake to send it, but it's not really useful.
It's so much trust in the other driver as well. How many times have we seen the door then get shut by the other driver to try and turn in because they just hadn't seen the other person coming? Amrit lost the place to Stelcho as well. Back end of the AlphaTauri looked a little bit squirrely, and as you said, yeah, because everyone's fighting, it's really easy for Nisula again.
Yeah, I mean, even in the the corners, him and Cax were fighting because Nico just wanted to send it down the inside when Caxus should have the better grip now. So if I was Nico, I would just let him drag me along and get up to Nisula, and then be pit when Nisula does, and then be in the train with him.
Nisula's impressed, but on the flip side, I'm not gonna lie, some of the EU3 guys have just given him the wins on occasion.
Yeah, especially with all the fighting they've done.
Well, I think if you go back to Imola, where Dan won that race, and I'm not saying it because I'm his brother and I'm a horrible person or I'm being biased, but there was no way he should have won that race when everybody from third down was on soft tyres with 5 laps to go. Yeah, won the race by 9 seconds. Because people didn't see the bigger picture, they just were fighting way too hard. And
yeah,
we're kind of seeing it again, where they're kind of squabbling, but they're going to let somebody go out front and control the pace of the race.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. When you first started running away, then everyone behind won't really look at the bigger picture, because then you only think about the position right ahead. You don't think about the entire race distance, and that's something you learn throughout your racing career, if you can say that. So it all comes with experience at the end of the day.
So we don't want to talk about it because we're watching this entertaining race. But Borussia Dortmund have just scored 2 goals in 3 minutes to go 5-4 up on aggregate. Those interested in European football?
In the correct football, not the football with the hands.
No. Didn't want to say that to annoy our American colleagues.
Oh, they should know by now.
Lanky's just picked up a penalty.
So
3 seconds.
We now have
fourth.
5 drivers with 3 seconds.
And we're seeing moves again. Nico down the inside of Caxel. Mons and Stelcher are going side by side, and Mons keeps that position.
Yeah, I mean, he does have the better grip. So I'm not really surprised by that. The soft runners are struggling now. Or Almanac being pushed off track there because Isaac kept losing the rear a bit.
Caxel's just come past Nico. Oh, because Nico's gone wide. What's happened there? So I noticed that in turn 17, and Nico's dropping a lot of places. And I think Rob's had a bit of a moment as well. That was weird. Whether they had contact, I'm not too sure. But now we're 2 or 3 wide going into turn 1. And this is going to get very messy again, people. Especially if we're going to go side by side through the S's.
Yeah, smart by Almanac backing out of that one. Don't want to go side by side through here. And we do have a car spinning in the background. That's Heat Mix.
Yes. Griffin's in, but I don't know if he's in control of his car. He's got a 5-second time penalty for track limits. Heat Mix was on some fresh softs as well. Almanac fighting Isaac again. This is...
Yeah, look at Mudge now. He's creating a gap as well. So those soft tires must be struggling.
Oh,
Still shut down the inside.
I tell you what, this is really perilous for the likes of Lewis, and Lewis with the switch back underneath. There's a bit of contact between 2 or 3 of them. I was just saying this is perilous now for Lewis and Almanac, who have got, well, there's important points on the line here for a certain championship, and it's getting a little bit tasty. Oh, and Isaac hit the wall and hasn't got a front wing, and I'm surprised that is not a VSC, and I reckon that's because of some contact.
I'd assume it is. So Nico now fighting. He's gonna send it down the inside on Almanac again to turn 1. Will he make it? No, he hits the back of the McLaren, and that's always gonna be an incident.
Yeah, this is all... I'll tell you what, there's 2 people sitting behind this, and they're closing in, and these 2 have been next to each other all season.
Yes, they have.
Goran is bringing Dan closer to the group. They've managed to cut that gap down to 1.5 seconds, so they're watching all these guys fight and probably, licking their lips a little bit, because it's bringing them quite comfortably back into the race.
Yeah, it does help a bit, doesn't it? So let's get some tires up on screen so you guys can see who might be struggling on the soft tires. Almanac is moving past Stelcio. He's on the mediums, and Stelcio's on the hards. Those hard tires should get in their own. This Sulat definitely should be EU2. I don't think so. He's been given the lead quite easily this race because people have been
Yeah.
fighting. They've been quite, I wouldn't say dumb, they just haven't been smart about the way they've been racing.
And we have seen the one race where he has been put under pressure. He's made mistakes, so think Limits and Lewis is. Oh, that's because we've got Limits and Nico in pits. Wisey Boys picked up 3 seconds. To say he's had a rough race, not for his own fault, would be an understatement so far.
Yeah. I think he did get P2 last week in Portimao reserving in EU2, but I think he was helped by a safety car at the end.
There was a safety car at the end of the race, and then people decided to trip over each other again. So yeah, that's.
Yeah, he's been helped.
We're not saying he's not good. He's not good, but we're just saying he has been helped a bit. Lanky had an awful moment and then backed out.
Yeah.
That was really strange.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they've touched on
Rob.
the exit.
Yeah, I mean, Nisula is insanely quick in his own
But
regard, but it's easy putting it up and then running away when everyone behind is fighting.
Well, I was going to say, look at the gap out front. That's actually come down a bit. Now they've stopped squabbling over each other. The gap is below 4 seconds.
Yeah, Nisula's into the pits, so.
Yeah, and that'd be why.
Yeah, I mean, that is 11 laps on the soft tires.
That is pretty good. So is he going to go mediums or the hards here?
Medium tires.
He's going to go to the medium tyre.
Yeah, those will definitely be that at the end of the race. So that
He's going
will
to
be a
come
struggle.
out. And he probably wants to come out ahead of Ty, and he does just. So that's important for Nasula's race. So that he doesn't get held up whilst he brings those tyres up to temperature.
Yeah, and then it's now gonna. Will he try to move here? You know him the best, don't you?
I think he'll sit behind. If he feels that Goran's going at the right pace for him, I think you've seen Nasula coming and he won't care because he was battling Ty. But if he sees that Goran is at a really good pace for him at the moment and how he wants to run his race, he won't overtake him. So he just let off the accelerator there to just sit behind him. And at the moment, they're keeping the gap between themselves and the top 6. It's fluctuating, but they're not really falling away. So he probably thinks he's quite happy at the moment where he is. I knowing full well he's probably going to go to the soft tyre at the end of the race. It depends, because it depends how harsh he's been on his tyres. That's usually one of his weaknesses, but he'd probably go to the softs at the end, although Goran's just
already
made a
in.
mistake.
So
Yeah, that's really early, and that's hard. If he was going to go to the hards, Hako, I would feel that he should have pitted a couple of laps ago. I feel like lap 13's really. He's not really.
Yeah.
It's halfway house. He's not really doing one thing. He's not really doing the other thing.
No, I mean that's it, isn't it? You might be expecting what's it called?
Don't know,
A safety car early on, so you go.
Well, it's going to be a move now, I think.
Yeah, there will.
There will be, and it's Dan on Goran, and Nasula's going to try and go down the inside. Dan's backed out, which is probably the sensible decision. and Nasula is through. All three of them were burning away their battery. And Wisey Boy also getting involved. So both the Alfa Romeos in a bit of a tussle at the moment.
And that is Rob into P11.
I was going to say not quite.
Yeah,
Rob didn't get Rob didn't get a great exit there, so Wisey Boy was entitled to come back.
Yeah.
And
Then they touched a tiny bit. I mean, Rob almost went off track, so I don't think there's much more he can do. Stelsh is in, Almanac is in, Goran is in, and Dan stays out.
yeah, Dan's on. Right, so let's see what Dan can do. His race then now is with Molliers. He's his next kind of target. Nasula is gone and put in the fastest lap of the race, which is understandable.
Yep. Having the DRS and fresher tyres will help you do that.
He's going to be on the worst tyres though at the end of the race, and now I haven't done much practice around this track, but I know historically when the tyres get towards the end of the stint hacker around here, they fall off the cliff horrifically.
They do indeed. When you get to around 40-50%, they don't feel nice at all. Especially the rear tires. Especially going through this sector here, because you rely on the rear tires quite a bit. So Nasula isn't sending it. He's very sensible with the way he's driving.
Watch out, we've got a nice little battle here for P8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. It's all getting very close. A few cars going this way and that, which involves Wisey Boy and Nico. As they're all sitting behind Rob, who's not pitted yet. Oh, and Mons is going to go to the outside of 18. That's going to be close.
Stelch just lost his swing.
Oh, and Stelcho, and that's because he's already made his stop as well. He's just made his stop.
Yeah, I think it's because everyone just bunched up and he didn't expect the guys to break that early.
Well, that's the difference in tyres, though. You look at you got Rob's on 14 up old hards, and you got to kind of account for that. It's not going to be the same as everybody else.
Definitely, and Dan's now caught up to Milosh.
Yeah, Molliers has just lost a lot of time on that lap alone. That's where the tyres now are starting to fall the way. But we said this earlier. Look, we said when Lewis and Almanac were trying to pick their way through the pack when they were squabbling, it's a really dangerous time for those guys if they're going to try and go for the win. And Stelcho's just come a cropper, unfortunately.
Almanac will be trying to go for the move on Munch now. On the outside into...
Yeah, but Mons is putting up a brave defence of it.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to try and hang it round the outside.
Turns to the inside for this corner, and inside in this corner is Superior. And...
He's going to go down the inside of the triple right-hander?
Yes, he will. Almanac will try and get
it's the grip, though, as the tyres are building temperature and not trying to overheat. Mons picked up a penalty on the inside. Nico's getting closer.
Nico's sending it down the inside of Munch.
Oh, but why? This is what we're on about. Think about it. Set it up for this corner. Now you can send it down. Then you'll be able to send it down the inside and then be ahead of him going into the part of the track where you've got the better grip because you've got the better tyres, the softer tyres.
Yeah, and that's where experience really comes in. But Caxo did come out ahead of that group because of all that fighting, I think.
Masuda is... And this thing, there you go, they've just wasted, what, 3 seconds? Tie?
Yep.
And that's the reason why Nasuda's probably going to have a gap of... He's got a gap of 12 seconds over the next person that's pitted.
Yep, and that is Caxel. But Caxel is on the soft tires, so. And Nisula made them last 12 laps in the first stint, and Caxel will have an easier time on the tires this time around, since the fuel burn will help quite a bit. And you can just see how much grip he has going through this last sector. Absolutely gripping up. That F1 car is insane to watch when you...
And this is back to the...
Oi.
Slight change of topic, but this is why we went back to the point we were going to make earlier. Why someone said, "Oh, why isn't Nasuna not in EU2?" Well, because we've seen when he's not raced with people, he's not been able to do it. And it's all good to say, "Oh, yeah, he's really quick," but if you promote a guy too quick too early, then it usually doesn't end particularly very well. We've seen this hundreds of times over the last few seasons.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it in quite a few drivers, but at the end of the day, it's all about creating the best experience for the driver as well.
We'll try and keep the balance. So Nasula leads. Lewis is still out there on his medium tyre, probably trying to be interested to see where he comes out when he pits in terms of a gap. The same with Dan, who's now closing said gap. So these two are going to be pretty close together. Caxel's...
Isaac almost lost it.
Caxel's doing a good effort in fourth. Limits. He's doing alright, but he's picked up a lot of penalties. Akko's on 9 seconds worth of penalties, which is more than everybody else other than Lanky.
Yeah, I am looking at the battle for P10 right now. Remy is... Oh, and he spun it! Oh no, he saved it.
Nasuda's pitting.
Oh...
Is he covering? No! Is he covering? Why would he do that?
I don't think the tires were gonna...
Make it to the end.
Yeah, I mean, they were gonna be quite horrible at the end. They would be like 65%. Or so, and then your rear end is just undrivable.
Well,
so
come on then. Here we go. This is what we wanted to see.
Fight for the win. So, Caxus is... I mean, Nisula doesn't have a lot fresher tires. 2 laps or something. But it will be around 8 to 10% of tire wear. So...
I don't want to say it. 18 laps in, there's still 20.
Me neither. I'm surprised we haven't. Yeah, I mean, I'm
we shall
really
not talk
surprised.
about it, and we shall carry on. Lewis is trying to go past the Mercedes of Goran. There is a car with a set of tyres 2 steps softer. So Lewis on the charge. Dan, interestingly, has come back out on the medium tyre, not the soft tyre. Clearly, he feels he's not going to be able to make it last towards the end. But we'll see how he goes. He's come out in 9th.
Yeah, I mean, the medium tires are good tires around here, so it's not a bad show.
Maybe probably feels like you can just push those all the way to the end and not having to worry about the tyres. So we'll see how that plays out. We've got 10 to go.
10 to go. And we do have a lot of penalties all over the board.
We are currently one.
Oh, Nisula has hit the rear of limits to get past.
Oh, that would be interesting to see what people think of that. Oh, limits. That's such a painful one as well. That was a really slow corner on the inside. Nasuda 5.7 seconds behind our leader, which is Twitch Caxel.
Yep. And Limits is now gonna have a battle with Almanac because of Nisula's push to pass.
Tell you what, watch out, ladies and gentlemen. Battle for 12th here. 12th and 13th is getting tasty. Remy's done well to get himself back into, well, some kind of point scoring contention after his lap 1 incident, and all 3 of them are lacking ERS at the moment.
Yep, and that's what we have seen throughout the season. People do drain the battery to get past, but then they don't have the battery to stay ahead.
Don't have the battery to stay ahead indeed. Nasu 36.1. I have a feeling this could get beaten here. Yeah, Lewis on the charge, 35.8. Unfortunately, quite far back compared to the Aston Martin driver, but he's going to give it a go. Podium could still be well on the cards here.
Yeah, especially when he doesn't have a penalty.
No, he does not have a penalty indeed. Isaac has retired. That's in the pit lane, so we won't be seeing a safety car yet. Don't worry about it. And it's
So, 90 drivers now. But it's not a it's not a real retirement. Not in my eyes.
Ross picked up a penalty. Oh, Hacko, look. Found 2 drivers right next to each other, and there's going to be an overtake.
It's going to be race ahead.
Yep, and behind, Dan's got past Gorham.
So, Racer will try and get close to limits. Should be quite an easy achievement since he is on the soft tires. And then he will try and get up to Almanac.
Oh. Just seen the 2 McLarens are very close to each other, albeit for 17th and 18th, but very close between Stelcio and Yeatmix. That's going to cost Stelcio this mistake quite big in terms of the championship and a top 3 finish.
Yeah, I mean, he's been quite unlucky throughout the entire season. He's had the pace to be at the front, but hasn't really had the luck to go with it. So, race is now all the way behind that Alpine. I mean, you're just gonna stay behind and take the DRS overtake. Saves you battery, saves you tires, because you can just stay safe. Oh, that's in
now
the
they're
pits.
dropping like flies. 2 in 2 laps.
Oh no.
Again, in the pits though, so not too bad.
Down the inside, Racer goes into the corner. He does have the DRS, because the DRS detection zone is down the hill. So the rear wing will open, and he will set after P3 now. And Nisula's cut up quite a bit to Caxel, so so I think this softer tires will help, but he has burned quite a bit of ERS.
Dan is past Nico, and Nico, I don't know what Nico's going to do here. Hacko, he's going to have to do something, because, well, he's on a set of mediums that's 10 laps old, and we've got quite a few laps left, so be interested to see if he comes in. Yeatmix is currently off in the gravel. Whether that was contact with his
Nico
teammate.
spun!
Oh, Nico.
That will not help your tires, mate.
Yeah, I had a feeling the rear end of that car was probably a little bit loose.
Oh,
and yeah,
Racer ahead of Almanac, going into turn 1.
Important. That's an important move for the championship. That means the Ferraris lead at the moment. Although he's not winning the race, he will be able to extend it over the AlphaTauri driver. Well, let's see what happens. It's
yeah,
I don't think this is all going to be wrapped up so easily. Dan is currently.
Oh, someone's.
Yeah, it's G-Mix. He's cooked the tyres.
Yeah. Dan is catching up too much. He doesn't have a penalty, Dan.
Lanky, that is. I respect it, but well done for keeping us going as long as you did. Yeah. Somebody forgot to drop his tyre pressures.
Yeah, tire pressures really mess you up if you forget them.
Gave it a good effort. That's all we can ask.
Yeah, I mean, stay in as long as you can, and if it doesn't work out, retire the car.
If it does work out, then great. Yeah,
Oh,
you're saying Dan
Masuda
is
almost dropped it.
closing in. Yeah, he's not got penalty. Well, we're going to see him move for the lead. I think we'll see it down into turn 12, I want to say.
Yeah. DRS overtake most likely. Will he stay close enough through this sector though? That's the question. You'll have the dirty air to deal with. Caxel's struggling with grip, I think. Because that AlphaTauri went quite wide there. 4 tenths is the gap, 3 tenths is the gap.
You've just seen Nasuda here being able to just drive that little bit more aggressively, take better angles for the corner.
Oh, and he's wheeling to. He keeps doing it, but it won't help because Nasuda's got such superior
Grip.
speed.
Look at that.
Oh, but he goes wide, doesn't he? So Caxel still is in the lead for now.
Oh, chop.
And Dan is moving past Munch now.
Munch, yeah.
And he will try and catch up to the limits up ahead. Oh,
that's you, Mick, spinning again. Needs to pit and get some new tyres or probably some soft ones.
Yeah, or just retire the car if you're gonna spin around like a donut.
So Caxel's held him off once. Would it be twice? I don't think so this time around.
No, yes, for Nisula though. And that's a switchback for Caxel, or at least an attempt to. Will he try it around the outside?
Around the outside.
Oh, yes. And he has kept it. That's a great overtake by Caxel. Or re-overtake if you would call it that. But he is struggling with grip on those front tires.
But Nasuda is struggling with battery.
Yeah, and I mean, getting him to use his tires and getting him to use his battery will make his advantage less, as we see McLaren drifting in the background.
And Nasuda's going to go around the outside. Caxel's going to probably hold it down the inside and force him wide. It's all going to get a little bit messy. Bit of elbows back.
Yeah, and into the lead Nisula goes. But look, I mean, now he's got the DRS advantage and he has the DRS as well. So if he can stay within, I think Caxel does have a good chance to
needs a good couple of corners here, and I think he's got it. Nasuda with a bit of a slide, so we could see a attack mount. Oh, he's run wide though. Oh, that was his opportunity. Just run it in too deep.
Yeah, running
go this way and that.
Okay, stays behind for now. I mean, if he can stay close enough here and just save his battery, he might be good, you know? It's all about choosing the right opportunity to get past. But I can tell that Nisuda is using more of the track and taking tighter lines. And look at the time he's gaining because of that.
Yeah. Well, see what happens.
Dan's
picked up a penalty. No. Well, if he's going to try and get fourth past Almanac, he's going to have to do that now on track. Didn't have to do it before.
Caxel is blinking.
Wisey Boy and Remy are going side by side through the S's. Wisey Boy's got the move done. Nice little battle between those two.
Yep. They're not fighting for points, but they're fighting for honor and dignity.
They're just showing us how they can race. Let's have a look at something interesting. That Nusuda is on 1 warning, Caxel is on a 2nd warning.
Yeah, he is struggling a bit with grip. Saw that when he ran wide out of the final corner. He's struggling to stay within.
That just compromised it, didn't it? Oh, they're going to go side by side again. Wisey boy and Remy providing some entertainment down here in 12th and 13th.
Definitely. As Remy is on the hard tires.
Yeah, what was Remy's gap? He lost 11 seconds, didn't he? So
12 seconds.
Probably would be. So he's probably looking at
P10.
Yeah, he was looking at the end of the points, maybe a little bit higher because he had to push the tyres quite hard to get back.
And undercut as well, because the tyres just doesn't come back after you spin.
Good showing so far. We'll probably turn our attention towards 4th and 5th.
Definitely need
place.
to getting another penalty. Then we'll have quite an easy pass here on Almanac.
Yeah, he's not got any. Well, I say neither of them got any battery left, but Dan had the DRS down the inside, got it done early on, and it'll be interesting to see if Almanac can come back. Almanac probably needs to try and come back at Dan here to limit the points gain that Lewis is going to get, currently sitting in 3rd.
Yep. So Caxel's staying within now.
Are they teasing us? Those two?
I think they might be, because I mean they're both really struggling on battery, and it might be a bit of DRS games on the last lap. Almanac is still within DRS. Will he get close enough? No, he won't. Not big enough of a straight. Helicopter cam through the first sector is such a beauty.
I do like it. It is very nice around here, seeing the cars go through the flowing S section. Wiseboy got past Remy. I have a feeling the Red Bull is going to come back at him again. These two still fighting at the lower places. Molières and Goran squabbling. Interesting that the gap between them, Hako, isn't that big. Goran really struggling on the hard tyre, considering where he was in comparison to where Dan was.
Yeah, could be damage. Maybe.
Maybe not, but we haven't seen what that's been up to.
So, Almanac is closing in on Dan, but it's not enough, and Limit's getting overtaken. Rob's retired in the pits.
That's fine. Molières past Goran then for
and
8th
Limit's
place.
sending it down the inside again. I mean, he's not giving it up, and he's drifting.
He may not be giving it up, but those tyres look like they're giving it up.
Yep, definitely. But a good showing, indeed.
I'll tell you what's a shame we've not got a couple of laps here, because Dan's... Who's that?
Limits, he's spinning. I mean, he's not spinning, but he's
sliding.
He's doing something, and I don't like it.
Quite interestingly.
Okay, that's Rob's car. My bad.
Dan's pulling Almanac closer to Lewis, and I reckon if they had another lap, this could be very interesting.
Could have been a good fight. So Caxel, he lost it after he made a few mistakes. I mean, he had the pace to win. He had the pace to follow Nisula. He pitted earlier than Nisula as well. I mean, Nisula only had the 2-stop to work because of the massive gap he got at the start, which is good for him.
I'll tell you what would have been interesting, because Caxel's actually managed to stay with him, to be fair, for like
Yeah.
the majority of that stint. But well, he was put under a bit of pressure this week. Not as much as what people have hoped, but he's about to cross the line around the last corner, Hacko.
Yep, and he will take the win. Kex will take second. Racer will take.
Oh, this is going to get close at the end.
And
Dan's covered the inside.
He takes it. And not only that, but Goran and Milosh is fighting as well. Going up to the line. They will be close. And
Limits is going to drop here like an absolute stone, and so is Monts because of all the penalties. I think Ty could even pick up. Yeah, one more. There we go. Ty's got past him. Limits and Nico for 18 and 17 laps on a set of mediums. Probably wasn't the way to go, but you never know. Wisey boy, no! Tired! Oh, the last corner as well. Him, Remy and Andre were all fighting for 12th, 13th and 14th and provided with us some entertainment. Stelcho has... Oh, I only just realised it has left the session. At some point.
yeah. But so Griffin will finish out in P14. And I am actually really tired. Really haven't had the energy tonight, but it was a good race to watch, and it was I mean, it was a good showing by Nisula in P1. He did great to get away. And Kexel fighting for the win as well. Racer in P3, then P4, Almanac, Goran, Milosh, Munch, Ty, and Limits.
PK's asked if you can scroll to the incident on incidents in the race director. Don't know why. There you go.
Oh my god, it's so long. I think that's more than enough evidence that it was penalties bingo.
So it's a two-stop. Can't cam. What we can conclude though is Lewis does extend his championship lead over Almanac. However, I think they've got to keep an eye out on a certain individual. Nasuda has picked up 25 points and is, well, closing in the background.
Yes, let's get some into it.
And AlphaTauri, however, extend their lead in the Constructors' Championship to EU3.
While I invite him one, you can do plugs as usual.
I can do plugs. If you enjoyed that on-track action, you can join us again in a few hours' time. 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. UK, and 3 a.m. Central European time for our AM3 colleagues that will be racing round COTA as well. If it is too late for you, don't worry, you can re-watch it either on the Twitch channel, which will then get uploaded to the YouTube channel. If you want to watch AM3 in a time that's a little bit more convenient, if you are from Europe, you cannot attend. Next European action, if that's more your time zone and more your kind of racing, we are there tomorrow in EU2. You can laugh at me and Hacko trying to race around here without getting any penalties and crashing and making a mess of it. And hopefully no rain for EU2. That would be nice. We share our nights with AM2, and then Thursdays are EU1 and AM1, the top tiers of both our regions in the league. If Tuesday seems to just be your thing, no worries, don't worry about it, it's fine. EU3 will be back next week at its same time at 9 p.m. UK. We are racing round got to look now because I've got to double check myself. We are racing round Silverstone next week, which for quite a few of the people, for quite a few of this tier, is a home race to look forward to.
Indeed. So we don't have Caxel here for now. Racer probably join. He usually does. Nisuda doesn't really enjoy the interviews, so
I will not pressure him to do it.
me neither. So while we're waiting, we can start with Caxel, who finished second and was close to taking the victory if he didn't make a tiny mistake. Who dropped him out of DRS. Does help quite a bit. So Caxel, how was your race? And a bit of a shame you had a bit of older tires compared to Nisuda at the end.
No, so I was more concentrated about what am I gonna do to Nasuda. I knew I was quicker than Steljo. The reason why I got past him into turn one, he got compromised on the inside line. But I was more about being aggressive because I wasn't as aggressive last week in Portugal. The reason why he won by like 4 seconds. So I needed to be more aggressive and really defend. But I had Nico also there on the softs. The reason why he went wide is because we made contact going into the left-hander. I moved to the right a little bit, and then he was going for the apex and bumped into my wheel. The reason why he went wide. I think I did a good strategy today. I had good pace. I think, in my opinion, if he wasn't in EU3, I would have won that race by a mile.
I will be back.
Okay.
But he's just so quick, Nasula. In my opinion, he's an EU2 driver more than an EU3 driver. But he has incredible pace. I managed to stay with him. I don't know if you saw that switchback going into tail one, that move around the outside, but that was probably my favourite move of this whole season so far. But beset them, had pace, just couldn't use that pace on the Sula, but I could use it on everyone else.
Yep. I mean, he had fresher tires, and all the fighting in the first didn't really help. So it was a good race and was well executed. The soft tires, were they struggling a bit towards the end, since you were losing the rear a tiny bit?
Oh, you don't even want to know the percentage. I had like, let me try and remember.
Were they toasty?
They were real toasty. I think I had like 85 to 90% on my rears.
Okay.
The deck was like higher than I expected. I've barely done any practice. I did 125%. The softs were just so bad with deg, but they were incredibly quick. The mediums, they had no deg on it. I'm surprised when I boxed that it was only at 40% in 15, 16 laps. So, but the deg was too high on the sauce for me to try and defend. I needed to cool them down as well. They were at like 115 degrees.
Toasty tires indeed. So, congratulations with your second place. Moving on to Racer in P3, if he is back.
I'm here.
He is here. So,
hello again. It's the same podium. It's deja vu.
yes, it is. So,
Well,
Yeah.
it is.
do your
Yeah,
stuff,
it is.
Racer, as
Sorry?
usual. Do your stuff as usual.
Do my stuff as usual. So a rundown of my qualifying race. Well, quali I messed up by a second. Missing the. I was trying to be clever, doing 2 outlaps, and missed the timer by a second. So that should have been really in that top 5 area, or even higher for quali. So I thought I'd make it a challenge for myself, and it was. To be honest, even without that bad quali, I think I was 3rd fastest. My wear, although pace-wise on like 1 off lap was good, I think ultimately maybe the top 2 may have been out of reach, but who knows? But it was a great race. I was just keeping myself to myself with that group. It's very tricky because your tyres overheat so easy, and the DRS train. Also, I was just hoping that the guys around me were going to do medium to hard, which is what they did, and I just went long. As soon as those guys went away, I was able to do much better times, clean air, or not better times, but the car just felt better, and I just extended the stint by an extra lap on the mediums, and then went on the soft, and yeah, I expected the egg to come. Looking back, I mean, the two-stop from Nisula looked really good. Probably looking back, maybe a two-stop would have been even better today, as long as you didn't get caught up with DRS train traffic. But yeah, it was really good fun second stint on those softs, getting past people at the right time, or catching up to people at the right time, and just holding it out in the end. Those last 5 laps where the softs didn't really have their advantage anymore to the guys on the hards, and Matty's brother Dan was on the mediums. We both pitted on the same lap, so I was able to get enough of a gap for just to stay ahead in the end. I had the 3 seconds. I knew they had 3-second penalties, so I just had to keep myself in the black stuff, and yeah, it was really good. I'm really happy with the recovery drive, extending the lead in the championship, but I've already got my eye on Nisula because he's going to be 70 odd points behind me now. But there's 5 races to go.
He's catching you, boy.
Yeah. So I worked out as long even if he wins every single race from now, as long as I finish 3rd, I'm okay. So there's 5 races to go, but easier said than done. And I do expect. I mean, he's got that EU4 domination I had last season going on at the moment. But I think with the last 2 races, I kind of got caught in the first stint with people that were slower than me, and I'm just not taking the risks of using my energy. It's just or getting into unnecessary incidents. So it's just about maximising the points where I'm at. Next week, Silverstone is a good track. Fingers crossed, touch wood. So it was good for me last season. So I hope that I can be quali good and be at the sharp end.
Yeah.
This is why he's such the easiest person to just ask.
Definitely.
Speak away, child,
Love it.
and
I
it
love it.
makes it easier. But don't think we've got much to add here.
Nah.
No, we don't. That's the easy thing with having Grace on the podium. He just speaks.
I'm not a Kimi Räikkönen, put it that way.
I think that will conclude it.
Yeah.
Ben Hacko,
Yes,
we've
it
made
will.
it through another week.
Yes, another week, another good race. And no retirements unless
No
it was in the pits.
No VSCs and no safety cars. That is how we would like to roll.
Yes. Good spicy race without safety cars. It's always good to have. And we will see you guys next week. And if you want to see me and Maddie crash out tomorrow or crash into each other tomorrow, for that sake, you should tune in and see the carnage unfold. EU2 is always spicy with some really quick drivers as well. So we will catch you guys next week for Silverstone, I'm pretty sure. So we will catch you guys next week. Good night.